Hello everybody, my name is Mornay and I just had a great conversation a few minutes ago with Sarah Stokes, someone who comes to our church for the last few years now already, and we had a conversation around knowing God as Father, and it's such an encouraging story, and I think if you watch this you would find it super helpful and encouraging for yourself. So enjoy the video and bless you. So hi Sarah.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me today. So tell me a little bit about sort of what happened and sort of how we got to this point to have a bit of a chat about this story.
Well, it all started off with a conversation with a friend.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the past, and I came from a very lovely church, really good foundations.
Yeah.
But it left me with quite a lot of guilt about Father Heart. Things like, if you didn't have your quiet time, then God wouldn't be pleased with you.
Okay.
Or you didn't ever feel that you could just enjoy yourself because you felt God wasn't being priority.
Okay.
So this personal friend said to me, do you still think like that? And it really did make me think that I don't think like that now.
Right. And how long ago was this conversation?
Only about 6 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think the journey probably started when I did the Academy for Supernatural Transformation. That was sort of the beginning of it.
Okay.
But over the last 2 years, it feels like it's been something that God's really homed in on, and it's like been marinating in me, really. I realised I wasn't feeling that God was judging me and that his love was unconditional. And I've come to a place where I feel that he loves and affirms me, not for what I'm doing,
Yes.
but from his Father's heart.
Right. How do you think that impacted your Christianity?
I think it made it quite legalistic,
Yeah.
very striving.
Okay.
It was never enough. You could pray, but it was never enough. You could always do more.
Yeah. Is there anything specific, or what do you think has changed, like necessarily? Like, what was the catalyst?
I think there's one verse where it says that God chose you before the foundation of the world. And I grew up with this theory that God didn't like me. He only liked me because I had Jesus in me.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
But I had this revelation that, no, he does like me and he loves me before the foundation of the world.
Yeah.
So it started from that.
Now, if you compare yourself to this deeper revelation of the Father compared to before, what differences would you say you can identify now?
I feel free.
Yeah.
I've got like a lightness in my spirit. So there is joy.
Yeah.
And it's taken away that striving and trying to please people and please God.
Right, okay. How do you say your ongoing revelation of the Father's heart is going?
One word I haven't talked about is identity.
Okay, yeah. Tell me more.
So I feel more comfortable being Sarah with a destiny and a purpose. And that has infiltrated many areas, really.
Yeah.
Has taken away some comparison.
Okay.
This isn't a spiritual example, but I go swimming and I might do 15 lengths. Yeah. Get out the pool and think, oh, well done, you've done 15 lengths. Look round and there's a lady that's done 40. Yeah. So immediately you're thinking, I haven't done enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's changed in my spiritual life, that I don't need to look at what other people are doing, how many meetings I go to. No. I just feel free to be Sarah and more confident.
And then do you have a thought process? Like, let's say, for example, even I think it's a good example, even with a practical thing like, oh my word, that person is like way doing more committed to their swimming than I am, or you know, that kind of thing. How do you kind of settle yourself that when you see, oh, that person has done more than I have, or I don't need to go to those meetings? Like, is there a thought process, an intentional thought process that goes through your mind now? Do you know what I mean?
I think the baggage from the past is still rears its head at times. Yeah. So there is a process that says, oh, I ought to go, no, I don't. Like in the time we've had of extended time
Yeah.
with God, several years ago, I would have thought, well, I really need to be at most things. And now I felt a freedom to say, I'm not going to be judged if I don't go.
Yeah.
So I think that's how it's impacted me. But there is still a thought process because the baggage comes in immediately and it has to be challenged, really.
I think that's right. And I think we all have that though, isn't it? So I think no matter how far you're down your journey of whatever revelation of freedom it is that, that's why I always think about like, when you talk about, when I say sometimes like, we have to learn to preach the gospel to ourselves sometimes. It's actually that moment when I'm like, let's say you have that comparison moment or whatever moment, I have to go do this thing. It's like the gospel preaching to yourself moment is, hang on, the Father, I'm sitting in the acceptance of the Father already. I don't need to do anything to be accepted by Him or approved by Him. I'm working from a place of approval already. So that's because I'm in Christ in that sense. And so that's it. I've just preached the gospel to myself in that way, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, settle. Like my emotions want to do this and my mind want to go that way. No, I'm resettled myself. No, I don't need to perform for anybody else because I'm in the acceptance of the Father. And I think that's so important because I think the transformation of the mind is that ongoing thing, isn't it? And I think that's why I think it's so important that we learn how to preach the gospel to ourselves. Because we sometimes think, I don't know if you think this way, but it's like preaching the gospel sounds like, oh, I'm going to talk about, giving your life to Jesus kind of thing, isn't it? But actually the gospel is the good news of God, and that we have a good Father in this particular instance. Do you know
And
what
I think a lot of it comes internally.
Yeah.
So it's not people saying things and judging me, but it's the self-judgment, and that's always almost harder to deal with because it's in your head.
Yeah.
Encourage people that it's made a huge difference. Knowing that He loves me, that I come from a place of love and affirmation, I'm not striving to gain it.
Yeah.
So it's taken the effort out, which has released me into worship and destiny. And before we came from London down to here, we'd never heard of it really.
Okay. Do
So
you mean your Father Heart?
Yeah, not in the way that we've learnt, me and my husband here.
Yeah.
So I think putting yourself in a position where you can just be, you're just hearing it and absorbing it. It's not been one big bam thing. It's been a process of just relaxing into it and hearing it and hearing it and hearing it.
You're right. That's brilliant. So thank you. I really appreciate you coming to share. I love it. I love your story. I love your journey. And we love having you and Russell with us. We really do. So thank you. Bless you.
Thank you.